camera down, man. It's showtime.
All right, clear! Grab what you can!
Hey, we got some good stuff, man.
Hurry up and help me with these walls, man. Come on, we gotta move.
Doing something awesome.
Okay, it's an epic haul for an epic game. We're joined by Roger to talk about Fortnite. How's Gamescom treating you?
Great, and thank you for having me. Gamescom is awesome. It's great to see the fans. It's just, this is my first time, and it is a massive affair. I didn't realize how huge it was, so I'm really glad to be here.
Well, welcome, basically. Okay, obviously we're here to talk about your Fortnite. It is the scavenge, survive, build, everything in once. What is Fortnite? Give us the overview.
So, Fortnite is an action RPG. It's a building game. Basically, it pairs you as a hero with 3 other heroes to explore the world and figure out, why the world has been abandoned. Essentially, there's these storms that have rolled in, and you find these gates that you need to shut down. And in the process of shutting those down, enemies come and try to stop you. The world is entirely destroyable, and you can build on it, you can level it. It's a fun playground where people can really be creative.
Now, the game was announced a while ago. What have you guys been doing since you went all quiet?
We've been making it better. When we first started Fortnite, almost 3 years ago now, from that little tiny game jam, the game really grew into something that we didn't expect. When we first did it, we wanted the game to be something that we can make in 3 months and just push it out there. We were trying to explore how could we do games at a much faster pace. And then as we started exploring the mechanics of Fortnite, we realized we've got something really special, and that it needed a whole lot more. And so we hired people from all over the industry that does systems design and RPG building, itemization, those sorts of things, because the strength of Epic is shooters, and the Fortnite was screaming for RPG stuff, and that's kind of what we've been doing. Really building that infrastructure.
Let's talk visual style. I absolutely love it. I love that sort of like rich, almost cartoony sort of vibe to it. Was that always the idea that you had? Was that something that during the course of development you maybe tried a few different iterations and thought, no, maybe we'll try this? What's the reason for it?
So Fortnite originally started as something that, we're the house that built Gears, something that's, extremely visceral. And we originally were going to make it like really hardcore horror and very visually, realistic. We decided at the beginning of development to go with this more cartoony look because we realized, Fortnite really has legs, and it's something that we really want to do for a long time. Switching it to a cartoony style, we think that it'll stand the test of time much better as, graphic cards get much better. The visual look will continue to look good. I mean, nobody complains about, Daffy Duck cartoons or, Bugs Bunny. Plus, it also allows us to do a whole lot more because we can create a lot more content much more quickly. A single character like at the Gears level, could take months of building from the ground up, where just a few weeks we can build assets within Fortnite.
What's the thing though? I mean, you saying about that, about the look and feel of it, that timelessness that you get from cartoons, from that sort of rich, vibrant world, and certainly for a free-to-play game, that's a great indicament because you want this to be running for months, years ahead.
Yeah, no, totally. And this is a game that we think about as a platform. It's not just a game that people will come and play and then leave. We're really hoping that we can build a community around this that people will be playing for a long time. I'm a huge fan of MMOs, and I'm used to playing with people for years on end. And I want that same experience for people that play Fortnite, where their friends are coming together, on a regular basis, and they're experiencing a world that they are building and they're creating with us. We firmly believe that Fortnite will be successful if we really listen to the fans and what they want, and the style is part of that. It will help us do the things that they want much more easily and quicker.
Talking about that community feedback, certainly that's a big point that a lot of developers bring up this day to make sure they polish it and make it right for the fans. Just curious, from your own personal philosophy, where do you guys draw the line between absorbing perhaps what the fan base, the community request, and going, okay, we like those ideas, but at the same time, we're making the game. Where's that line drawn?
You know, it's a delicate line for a game developer because, you have to, you have to look at the state of the game, the balance of the game, the economy of the game, and do what's right for everyone. So, of course, you're going to have the people that are very vocal about the things that they feel very strongly about, and then the people that are not so vocal who might be happy with the state of things. It is a delicate balance. We have a lot of people who are constantly thinking about these things. I think that we have to just be very careful about the feedback that we implement because we want to make sure it's a fun place for everyone.
Excellent. Okay, let's dig into the game then. Let's talk characters.
Sure.
Okay, so there's a selection that we saw from the demo build there. How does that work? Is it just a cosmetic thing? All characters have the exact same abilities and such? How does it work?
So our game is a class-based game. All characters can do everything, but certain characters can do things better than others. And so right now in the demo that you saw, we have the constructor, and we have the soldier, and we have the ninja. The constructor obviously is really good at building. The ninja's really good at melee. The soldier's really good at armed combat. We have other classes in the works. We're really focused on making it a class-based game because we really like the scenarios where people are sort of building a loadout with their team of like who's the right role for what job, depending on the scenarios that they're going to be facing. As far as customization is concerned, I mean, we're certainly going to have that, where people will be able to customize and change the look of their characters, from tops and bottoms and hats and backpacks and all sorts of the typical stuff that makes us excited too.
Okay, let's talk game structure. As we see, is it an escalation thing? You start the day, you basically get as much resources, you start building up, prepare for that night to hit, and that's sort of like 10 minutes and then 5 minutes cycling through. Is it a case of just survive as long as you can?
Well, so what you experience today is just one mode. That's certainly one aspect of it where you sort of survive for as long as you can, or in this case, you survive within 8 minutes. It's roughly a day or night cycle. But we have other modes, planned where, we might have multiple gate captures, we might have missions, etc. So that was just one flavor.
And how do you reinforce the idea of a group? Obviously, you guys have stated you have to stick together to survive, but how do you incorporate that into the game? Is it a case of, as the enemies get stronger, as the nights continue, it's just impossible to survive on your own?
Certainly, the challenge is the game is very smart, knowing like where the characters are, how well you're killing things, how quickly you're killing stuff, how much damage you're taking. The game takes into account all of those factors and determines how to ramp up or massage the gameplay according to the experience of the players in the world. Certainly, we think that we're building an experience where, because it's class-based and because job roles are so clearly defined, that if one person were to sort of abandon ship, the rest of the team will feel that, and it behooves everyone to work together because you might be really good at your job, but you need the others to excel at your job.
And with the crafting ability, not just even just for, say, weaponry, but structures, I mean, how versatile is that? We got an idea of, in the demonstration, you can select pre-built constructs as long as you've obviously got the resources to do so, and then you flip them around by certain degrees. How does that work?
So I think you're talking about the building aspect where you're building the world. We created what I think is a really genius building system because it's so simple. One of the powers of Fortnite for me, I'm not a level designer. I'm just a producer. I'm not creative in the way that artists are, and so I can't build really beautiful structures just in Maya or some other editor, but in Fortnite, all of the walls, all of the building pieces, they just look good together when you snap them. And we basically built a 9-grid system where you kind of punch out sections of the grid, and as long as it's blue, that means it's good, and you will get whatever the item that recipe produces. So you can build like for walls, doors, and half high walls, and windows, and double windows, and arches, and etc. I think our building system is extremely genius and simple. It'll allow people to just throw buildings up in just minutes. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And with the customization, even for that, is it a set numbers? The idea that in future updates you release different designs?
Oh, absolutely. The visual, what we have today is just the tip of the iceberg for us. Yeah, we want to have as much visual variety as we can squeeze into the game because Epic is all about visuals, so it keeps us interested too.
All right, it's the classic free-to-play question that you must get asked so many times. How is it paying for itself? Is there transactions in the game? What's the situation?
So, so let me start from this. Free-to-play is something that Epic did a lot of soul searching. For us, what excites us about free-to-play is the amount of people we're going to be able to reach. I mean, with a paid product, you get some certain number of people, and then other people who are on the fence, they don't know if they want to buy it or not. They won't interact with your game. With free-to-play, we're giving the power to everyone to download it, play it, and experience it. And that, for me, is what's really exciting, to get millions and millions of people on board. In terms of the microtransactions, we're coming at it from a philosophy of, there are games that do it really well, and there are games that do it in a way that's like pay to win. And we believe we want to go the route of those that do it in the way that is definitely not pay to win. Cosmetics are the kind of things that we're talking about microtrans. You don't need cosmetics to be more powerful, but like for TF2, that people love that. It's totally a thing, and we believe that the larger the community that we have, we'll make money. People will pay because they'll like it, and it doesn't need to be many. I mean, we have families to feed too. You have to have a world filled with people in order for the world to be fun, and that means we have to have a lot of people who are playing for nothing, and that's okay. We need those people. We want those people. We want to build that community.
Well, obviously, this is your big new release, and certainly it's a little bit different now after being paired with Microsoft for the Gears series and stuff like that. I mean, how are you guys approaching it now? Is it a whole different mindset yourselves?
It's a completely different ball of wax, because we're now our own publisher. So all of the things that you, like a developer typically doesn't have to think about, we have to think about. We have to do the localization, we have to do the marketing, we have to do, we have to own the servers, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that a publisher provides, and our relationship with Microsoft has always been great. But this is one of those things. It's like eventually you grow up and you want to live on your own, and so that's what we're trying.
Okay, so the game's slated for about 2015, some point.
Yeah, some point. We're definitely, people are playing it now at Gamescom, for instance. We're going to be playing at PAX here in Seattle in September. We're going to have alphas this year where people are going to get to come in and play, and it's just going to roll up from there. The idea is that we want to build up slowly so that we know clearly that we're doing all of the right things. We're learning, and our community is going to help us learn. They're going to teach us stuff. They're going to tell us what we're doing wrong, and we're going to adjust and make improvements with those people.
Okay, wrapping up then, the other classic question you get asked with any sort of single format release. Once you guys have got this polished and released on PC, is there any thought about expanding it to other places, other worlds, so to speak?
The future has endless possibilities. We love consoles, we love PCs, we love all sorts of platforms. I think that anything is possible, and if you ask us, do those things excite us? Yes, the answer is yes. Is Fortnite destined for those things? I can't really say, but we'll see.
In other words, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, thanks very much for taking the time. All the best.
I appreciate it, and have a good time at Gamescom.